Does a week on a cruise ship provide better value than longer trips? Join me in this value showdown to see what cruise length gives the most bang for your buck. Plus, we'll be revealing a little known cost-saving tip and the hidden gem of onboard experiences that you can only find on longer cruises. You don't want to miss them. So 7 nights, 10 nights, 12 nights, 14 nights, 21 nights, 35 nights. What's the cost comparison? What's the breakdown? Where's more bang for your buck? One way to determine that is to look at the overall cost. You say you get a balcony room on a 7-night and it breaks down to, $100 per person per night. Then you look at a 10-day. That might break down to $90 a person per night. It depends. And honestly, if you're talking straight dollars and cents, that's one thing, but there's more to the value of a cruise than just what it costs per day per person. Most 7-night cruises have, a set itinerary. Well, they all have set itineraries, but, if you think about it, 7-night cruises in the Caribbean, you're going Eastern Caribbean, Western Caribbean, arguably. There are some other ones thrown in there. There's some, Southerns that only do 7, blah, blah, blah. But it's arguably the same islands. There's only, a dozen islands? It's a function of distance. If you leave out of Miami on a Sunday, you got to be back the next Sunday. It can only travel so far. Longer cruises, repositioning cruises, you get more flexibility there. You're able to see more exotic ports, for lack of more distant ports is probably a good way to put it. Because, you can be at sea for 2 days or 3 days to get from one to the next, because you've got 10 nights instead of 7 or 6. More time to relax and explore. Arguably, if you're on a 10-night, you're only going to go to 50% more destinations. Think about most 7-night cruises. You're hitting between 3 and 4 ports. You leave on a Sunday, you might have a sea day on Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're hitting ports, maybe even Friday, depending. Then you got a day at sea, and then you're back. So you go on a 10-night or an 11-night, you might have 2 back-to-back sea nights or sea days, and then a port, and then another sea day. You're not going to 8 ports or 6 ports instead of 4, even though the cruise is 50% long, because you're going farther places. Okay, so you have more time to relax. I hate sleeping in on a cruise because I feel like I'm missing something. When we did our 11-night, I slept in because it was the second sea day in a row. I didn't need to be up at the crack of dawn to explore the ship because I knew I had the whole day to do it. I was able to relax more. In my opinion, there's more balance between activities and relaxation and downtime when you're on a longer cruise, okay? Because you have more days to unwind. One of the things that I don't like about most 7-night cruises is it's literally back to back to back to back ports. Tuesday, you're in St. Martin. Wednesday, you're in St. Thomas. Thursday, you're in wherever that other, I don't remember even what the other port was. So it's bing, bing, bing. And to me, port visits take a lot out of me. They're long days because you're up and out, you're doing a lot of walking, you're, snorkeling, which takes that energy, you're walking around and then you're coming back and you're enjoying the ship's night atmosphere until 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, rinse and repeat 3 more times. Honestly, perfect cruise to me would be depart on whatever day, sea day, port, sea day, port, sea day, port, sea day, port, all the way through. That way I get some downtime in between. Anyway, stick around because coming up we're going to unveil a little known tip that could save a pretty good chunk of change for you. Onboard experiences and activities. I think the longer cruises, you can enjoy those experiences and activities more. Think about it. These mega ships, Icon, Quantum, and Wonder, and all the Oasis class. There's too much to do. There's too much to see. You can't really experience everything in 6 nights, 7 nights. So having an extra 2 or 3 nights, when you're on a 6-night or a 7-night, you've got to choose between this show or that show. The longer the cruise, the more of that you get to enjoy. You get to see everything. Or more, let's put it this way. And honestly, on the longer cruises, they plan more. They have more shows. They have more trivia. They have more activities because they got to keep people occupied. I found that the specialty dining packages on the longer cruises offer more value, in my opinion, because you get more options, you get more choices, you get more, and just more bang for the buck. Bring kids on board a 6 or 7 night cruise versus a 9, 10, 11, 12 night cruise, same thing. They're going to experience more on a longer trip. Hang around just a little bit longer. We're about to dive into another hidden gem for onboard experiences that are only available on those longer cruises. Packing and preparation. Honestly, the different packing and prep difference between a 6 or 7 night and a 10, 11, 12, 14 night, not very different. You might have 1 or 2 extra formal nights, but honestly, I don't bring more formal clothing. My formal wear usually consists of 2 pairs of slacks, 2 dress shirts, and 2 sport coats. I honestly don't usually do the tie or the full suit or the tuxedo. I've got, between those 2 pieces of clothing, or 2 sets of clothing, I've got 3 or 4 or 5 options that I can wear. And honestly, the outfit I wear on the first formal night, very possibly going to wear it on the last formal night as well, because nobody else is going to know it besides me and my wife. You don't need to pack drastically more. If you're going on longer than like a 12 to a 14 night, there's going to be laundry facilities on board. So again, you don't necessarily need to pack more. 6 night and 7 night cruises are easier to book, to plan based on your job, your career. Getting away for 12, 14, 21 nights, if you're still working a full-time job, a full-time career, not as easy. If you own the business, that's a whole different story. But that's definitely an advantage of the 7 night. Maintaining fitness and wellness, I think that's easier to do on the longer cruises because, again, you've got more time to do everything. So obviously I'm not very much into fitness routines. So they're the first things that go when I'm on a cruise, honestly, because I've only got, I figured it out one time, it was 140 some odd hours, I think, or 180 hours on a 7 night cruise. I'm going to pack every minute of every one of those hours with something. When you're on a longer cruise, you've got more time. So yes, I can, do work out a couple of times, while I'm on board. The longer cruises, a lot of times they have more advanced wellness programs than your 6 or your 7 nights. The excursions on longer cruises, I have found, are more unique, more special than your 6 or 7 night cruise. At the end of the day, where do you get the most value? 7 night, 10 night, 14 night, 21 night, most bang for your buck? It depends. I know you hate me for saying that, but honestly, you get great value from a 7 night cruise. And if you've got little ones, if you've got a full-time career, if you have responsibilities, it may, no matter how much value you get out of a 10 or a 12 or a 14 night, because you can't get away that long. Take the 7 nighters, enjoy the heck out of them, and don't worry about the rest until, the kids are older, or, you start your own business and you find somebody who can run it for you for 2 weeks while you're gone, or whatever. If you have the time, you have the flexibility, and you've got the money, because yes, even though the cost comparison, you get more bang for your buck on the longer cruises, it still costs more. But once you've got those flexibilities, heck yeah, get on a longer cruise. Take a 35 nighter, do a 275 night round the world cruise if you can. Anyway, there you have it. I hope you have decided what the perfect cruise length is for you. Now that we've done that, let's explore romance and adventure in the ultimate couples cruise experience, Love on the High Seas.